Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. What happened between Voight and Lieutenant Denny Woods on Chicago PD? Captain Hank Voight, Jason Begg, has come face to face with some seriously sinister wrongdoers on Chicago PD. Still, few villains have thrown the intelligence unit commander through a loop more than Denny Woods, played by the talented Mykelti Williamson. Voight's relationship with Woods, a former CPD lieutenant turned corrupt auditor, was fraught and tension-fueled from the moment they first reunited. Voight has made quite a few enemies during his lengthy tenure, but the decisions he made to piss off Woods haunted him in several ways in Season 4 and Season 5. Woods' arrival brought on a devastating domino effect that led to the death of one of the intelligence unit's finest. No one likes it when a PD fan favorite lands in trouble, but Woods delivered some replay-worthy heat. Look back on all of the drama that broke out surrounding Voight and Denny Woods on Chicago PD below. When did Denny Woods appear on Chicago PD? Mykelti Williamson's Denny Woods was first introduced in PD Season 4, Episode 20, Grasping for Salvation, when he was still a lieutenant with the CPD. 30 years prior, Woods and Voight had been partners, with Woods even mentioning that he forged Voight into the rough and tough he became. However, their tumultuous reunion set the stage for some jaw-dropping drama after Voight realized Woods was involved in wrongfully convicting an innocent man to move up within the precinct. After the intelligence unit found a murder weapon that altered the status of a case Voight and Woods closed decades ago, Voight, worried that he and his former partner had wrongfully convicted someone, and wished to reopen the investigation. Sensing the case details would reveal his dark secret, Woods threatened Voight to drop the investigation, but this only emboldened Voight more. Fearing he'd eventually prove his corruption, Woods wielded his power to put Voight up for review on the grounds of insubordination. Luckily, the intelligence unit pulled through and gathered enough evidence to prove Woods deliberately imprisoned an innocent man to leverage a promotion. Following a full investigation into his case files, Woods was exposed and disgraced, stripped of all his police powers. After the incident, Woods became an independent auditor, obsessed with getting revenge against his former partner, who took it all away in the blink of an eye. Woods sought to settle the score against Voight, returning in Season 5 to exploit his position as an auditor to gather any dirt he could dredge up about the intelligence unit to complicate Voight's standing in the CPD. Viewers hoped the resentments were set aside in Season 5, Episode 14, Anthem, when the intelligence unit helped Woods when his daughter landed at the center of a case. But after she was shot and only narrowly survived the ordeal, Woods found himself with an even bigger bone to pick with the intelligence unit. Later in Season 5, Woods met with Voight to assure his former partner they were not good. At the same time, CPD higher-ups called Voight's best friend and fellow intelligence unit member Alvin Olenksy, Elias Koteas, into their office to ask about his DNA being found on the murdered body of Kevin Bingham. Who's Bingham, you ask? Oh, just the criminal who killed Voight's son in Season 3 of PD, and was later shot dead by Voight. Alvin helped hide the body and scrub evidence, and for years, viewers and the intelligence unit thought Voight was in the clear. That bubble popped when Woods got his revenge. For years, Sergeant Hank Voight ruled the intelligence unit of the Chicago Police Department with an iron fist. He was a man of principle, his own principles, that is. While others played by the book, Voight bent, twisted, and sometimes outright shattered the rules to get justice as he saw fit. But in a world where corruption and crime blowed into each other, there was always someone waiting in the shadows, ready to take him down. That someone was Lieutenant Denny Woods. Once upon a time, Voight and Woods were not enemies. They had been close, partners even. They worked cases together, patrolled the streets together, and even shared a few drinks in off-duty hours. But that was before ambition and betrayal set them on opposing paths. Woods had his eye on a bigger prize, while Voight had his own definition of justice. Eventually, they clashed, and when Voight was sent to prison for corruption, Woods walked away clean, distancing himself from his former friend. But Voight, ever the survivor, found his way back, rising through the ranks again, more dangerous than ever. Years later, when Woods re-emerged in Chicago PD, he came back not as a friend, but as a determined enemy. Now a lieutenant assigned to the Internal Affairs Bureau, Woods had one mission: to take Voight down for good. He had watched Voight operate in the shadows for too long, breaking laws under the guise of serving the city. Woods saw him as a dangerous man, an unchecked force who needed to be stopped. And for once, he had the power to do something about it. Woods dug into Voight's past, searching for anything that would finally put him behind bars. He found an ally in Detective Haley Upton, attempting to recruit her to spy on her boss. But Upton, fiercely loyal to the intelligence unit, fed Woods just enough information to keep him distracted while the team worked to protect Voight. Woods, however, was relentless. He shifted his focus to another potential weak link, Detective J. Halstead. He pressured Halstead, trying to push him into giving up dirt on Voight. But intelligence wasn't just a team, it was a family, and Woods underestimated their loyalty. The real battle between Voight and Woods reached its peak when Woods uncovered something explosive. Voight had covered up a murder. That murder was the killing of Kevin Bingham, the man responsible for the death of Voight's son, Justin. Woods had proof that Voight had taken Bingham to an abandoned lot, executed him in cold blood, and buried his body. It was the golden ticket Woods needed to finally destroy Voight once and for all. For a moment, it seemed like Woods had won. He had undeniable evidence, and with it he tried to force Detective Alvin Olinsky, Voight's closest friend and longtime ally, to testify against him. Olinsky, however, was loyal to a fault. He refused to betray Voight, knowing the risks. But Woods was not above playing dirty. He had Olinsky arrested for Bingham's murder and pushed for a conviction that would send him away for life. Voight, a man who had always lived by his own code, was finally backed into a corner. Olinsky, a seasoned detective who had survived the worst of Chicago's streets, was now sitting in prison, paying the price for Voight's crime. And then tragedy struck. While awaiting trial, Olinsky was stabbed repeatedly by fellow inmates, ultimately succumbing to his injuries. His death devastated Voight, but more than that, it fueled his vengeance. Woods had not personally killed Olinsky, but Voight blamed him all the same. With Olinsky gone, Voight was no longer just fighting for himself. He was fighting for justice, his own twisted version of it. He confronted Woods, making it clear that their war was far from over. Woods, confident in his victory, underestimated Voight's ability to turn the tables. Voight, with his extensive network and streetwise tactics, managed to dig up enough dirt on Woods to take him down. He uncovered evidence of Woods' own corrupt dealings, bribes, illegal activities, and abuses of power. It was the very thing Woods had been hunting Voight for, only now the tables had turned. In the end, it was Woods who found himself on the wrong side of the law. Facing undeniable proof of his corruption, he was arrested and stripped of his badge. The once powerful Internal Affairs lieutenant was now just another fallen officer, brought down by the same game he had been playing for years. As he was led away in cuffs, Voight stood watching, his expression unreadable. Perhaps there was satisfaction, but there was also loss. Olinsky was gone, and no amount of revenge could bring him back. The rivalry between Voight and Woods was more than just a battle between two men. It was a clash of ideologies. Woods saw himself as the righteous one, the man who would finally clean up the corruption in the CPD. But in the end, his own hands were just as dirty. Voight, meanwhile, continued to